Welcome to Dr. Lean Plugged, real insights from the cutting edge. This is a strip down video where I share behind the scenes insights as a scientist, as a doctor, on topics related to health and wellness. It's raw, it's direct, it's unscripted, no sugarcoating, just real talk and real SS. All right, and today we're going to talk about colds and flu and what you can do about them in order to be able to recover faster. So first of all, I want to sort of say what causes a cold or a flu. Different viruses. And I know viruses are kind of a triggering topic these days, but you know what? Got to live with it. We live in a world filled with bacteria, viruses, different kinds of organisms there, and we breathe it in during the wintertime when other people are sniffling and coughing and sneezing. We stand a good chance of getting sick ourselves. All right, so one of the common symptoms of having a cold or flu is you get body AES. And the question is, why does that happen and what can we do about it? So when you're infected by a virus, a cold virus or a flu virus, all right, your body responds by activating one of its powerful health defense systems. Now, I wrote about my health defenses in my first book, Eat to Beat Disease. All right. If you haven't read it, you should check it out. There's a whole section about inflammation and immunity. It's sort of two sides of the same coin, the same health defense, but it's a healthy defense. Your body's going to have a reaction when it's infected by a virus, and it's going to ratchet up, unleash its immune system. And it's really the reaction that your immune system has that causes the body aches. So here's how it actually goes. Basically, it's not the virus that causes the reaction. It is the body's reaction to the virus. So when you get infected, your immune system senses it right away. The viruses there's a dead giveaway that you've been infected, and your body just sends these inflammatory cells right into the location of infection. Right. So. And these inflammatory cells are first responders. Think about 911 to being infected by a cold or a flu virus. Now, what's going to happen? Those first responders, those immune cells, are going to dump inflammatory cytoid. All right. Inflammatory signs basically are virus and bacteria killers. And that the inflammatory cells that are there to gobble up all the infected and dead cells that might be around. So this is actually a situation where inflammation is a normal, natural, healthy response by bringing acute cells, the first responders, to the infected parts of the body, your nose, your sinuses, your lungs, your airways, your bronchuses. You see what I'm saying? And maybe even your stomach. You know, a lot of us get an upset stomach when we get the flu, for example. And that inflammation is what actually causes us misery, because basically those inflammatory cells are releasing cytokines. Those cytokines, which are virus killers, by the way, and bacteria killers, they actually cause those symptoms. They make us feel pretty crummy and achy. All right. So one of the things that those cytokines do is, in addition to cleanup, they are orchestrating the rest of the immune response to say, hey, we have a 911 situation, an emergency situation here. Let's kill the bad guys are here, but let's call in the backup troops, the real immune system, to come in to be able to make sure everything is wiped out and the rest of the body is clean. Those pyrosin, those initial signals released by the immune cells, the first responders, cause the runny nose, cause the swollen sinuses, cause the muscle aches and pains too that accompany the flu. All right. Now, one of the cytokines that's released that causes muscle aches is called interleukin 6I6. And that really makes your muscles feel really, really sore. And your achy muscles force you also to slow down, and you're not going to be moving around quite as fast. Right when you get sick at a certain point, you suddenly sort of cross over that line where you're like, I got to BU light down someplace. That achiness, for example, that crumb you feel, that is your body's way of shutting down your agenda. You thought you were going to go to that dinner party, that meeting, that movie. Nope. You are going to lay down and rest. So that's actually also a way to send a signal for us to actually just chill out and allow ourselves to heal heal. Listen to your body when you're feeling so painful. There's like, like you just feel totally like crap. Lay down, let your body heal. All right. Fortunately, flu, cold, maybe last a week, few days. All right, then your immune system wins, the virus is gone, and the cytokines go down, and guess what? Your aches and pains disappear. That's what's actually going on when you actually get the flu. And you can go back to your normal activities when you're actually done fighting the flu. Hey there, I've got an exciting resource just for you, and it's all about the 5 brain-boosting habits for longevity. These simple but powerful habits are all based on SS that can help elevate your brain's cognitive ability and support your overall brain health. If you're ready to unlock the secrets to a sharper mind and a healthier future, then click the link below the video to access this valuable information. Or you can take out your smartphone and scan the QR code on the screen right now. Now, let's get back to the video. So how do you remate these body aches, right? Because I told you they're all good reactions. You actually want them. Your body is sending the appropriate signals at the right time in order to be able to get you to rest, and so your body can heal. So like basically comes with the territory. But so what can you actually do? Well, resting is in fact the single most important thing you can do. It allows your muscles to relax, takes off the strain from your body. Got to stay hydrated. All right. Because when you're fighting a bacteria, you want to stay hydrated. You want your tissues, your cells to be flowing smoothly and liquid. We need water in our body. And if you're dried out, okay, your throat is dry, your sinuses are dry, man, that actually helps the virus actually kind of get a bigger trench, because it actually prevents our immune cells from actually doing their job, doing the active, accurate cell killing, virus killing. All right, so stay hydrated, keep those nice, moist sinuses and airways, so drink plenty of fluid. Now, relaxing with a hot beverage can be very helpful. Relaxing is good. All right. Some chamomile tea can calm your body. Now, chamomile has been shown to contain a bioactive called apigenin, APIIGNI. And apigenin is also found in parsley, for example, but apigenin is a powerful anti-inflammatory. So not only when you sip some chamomile tea when you're sick, not only does it actually calm you down, hydrate you, but the apigenin found in chamomile flowers that's in a tea also helps to lower the inflammation, right? So you might be taking non-steroidals and ibuprofen, those kinds of things, or cold medicines, but the natural form of this actually can be also helpful to lower inflammation. Now, I got to tell you, I was talking about chamomile tea. I would actually advise not to have regular tea with caffeine or regular coffee when I feel sick. When I got the flu, for example, I kind of stay away from my morning coffee, which I normally drink. That caffeine whips you up. It actually causes your sympathetic wake up, neurotransmitters to come pouring out. All of a sudden, you're more alert. That kind of counters your healing, relaxing, chilling kind of state of being. So I would say, and the caffeine also, depending on when you drink it, can interfere with your sleep. Now, if you have it in the morning, it should be burned out by the evening, but then it actually doesn't allow you to it during the day. If you have it later in the day, coffee or tea, for example, that can interfere with your sleep. And when you're sick, you really, really want to have good, deep REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. This is like when you dream, okay? Because when you're in that deep sleep, number one, your brain's channels, sewer drain opens up to allow the release of the toxins. So you detox your brain when you got good sleep, whether you get the flu or not, okay? So that's always the reason to get good night's sleep. But the other thing that happens is that when you're sleeping, your gut microbiome reboots, your immune system reboots, it rebuilds itself. You actually are in an active healing mode as well. Okay. So that's actually something I recommend doing is chamomile tea to relax, no caffeine, drink a warm beverage. I try to avoid caffeine, but here's another thing that actually could be helpful. Grandma was right. Chicken soup can actually be good for a cold or the flu, besides the fact that we're used to having chicken soup. Whether you make it yourself or you have it called in or somebody else makes it for you. Here's the cool thing. Food is medicine. Research has discovered that chicken soup contains natural peptides. These are fragments of proteins that are anti-inflammatory, all right? These peptides that are found in chicken soup temper the effect of inflammation, makes you feel better. So, like I said, grandma was right. Have some chicken soup. It's good for your cold, good for your flu, good for your symptoms. And by the way, if you want to actually get a little bit more out of the chicken soup, you can make it yourself, or somebody's going to make it for you. You should try to make it with bone broth chicken soup. Chicken B bone broth made from chickens. And why is that? Because bone broth, which is boiled down chicken bones, will actually contain a lot of collagen and amino acids. That's what bone broth is really rich in. And those are useful to help your body heal and build itself back up. All right. Remember I told you your immune system, inflammatory system is going to be, chopping down all the bad cells, dead cells, bad bugs, bacteria, viruses. Guess what? There's some repair that's going to need to be done. Having amino acids, collagen, protein, those are actually going to be helpful. So chicken bone broth in chicken soup will contain those peptides and the amino acids that actually help you heal up. Now, you can have chicken noodle soup if you want, right? And you add some veggies in it, like carrots or celery. Those can be sources of dietary fiber. And guess what that dietary fiber does? It feeds your gut microbiome. That's the 39 trillion bacteria that live in our gut. Guess what? When we're sick and we actually make our gut bacteria happy, you know what our gut bacteria does? Releases short chain fatty acids that, guess what? Lowers inflammation. So again, some chicken soup. You got chicken noodle soup. You add some carrots, add some celery, make it with bone broth. Now you've got something that's the peptides that actually lower inflammation. You've got amino acids and collagen for healing. Now you have some carrots and you've got some celery. Now you get some dietary fiber to help your gut bacteria, help your body lower inflammation and boost immunity as well. All right, now here's something that you may or may not know. In Asia, chicken soup is also used. It's kind of like a universal panacea for colds and flu. Chicken soup is also used in Asia. But you know what? In Asia, how they often make chicken soup? If you're recovering from an illness, they will make it with ginger. So chicken boiled down from bones. Now you got the bone broth. So in Asia, often chicken soup's made actually as a bone broth. You pull out the bones, you pull out the cooked meat, the spent meat. Now you boil it with ginger. Now what's in ginger? Ginger contains a natural bioactive called gingerol. Gingerol is anti-inflammatory. So now you have chicken soup made with bone broth. You got the amino acids, you got the peptides, lowers inflammation. Now you add the ginger side of things. With ginger, you got more anti-inflammation. Does that make sense? So all these kinds of old school techniques that go back generations actually wind up, as we're doing food and medicine as medicine research, to actually be really, really good for clearing up the cold, clearing up the flu, getting those sinuses and symptoms all cleared up. Now, here's another thing that you might not have thought about. If you are not familiar with the Asian way of healing with chicken soup, chicken bone broth, ginger, you know what else is often added in Asian healing chicken soups? Guess what? Goji berries. You know goji berries? Goji. These are little tiny red berries. They usually come dry. You can get them in a herb store, Asian market. They come dried in a package. You put them into the chicken soup, and they just kind of hydrate up. They start releasing the natural bioactives found in goji berries. One of them is called zeaxanthin, Zaxntithin, zeaxanthin. It's a coronoid. And you know what xanthan is good for? It's anti-inflammatory, but it's also good for vision. It actually helps lower the risk of developing something called macular degeneration, age-related macular degeneration, the most common cause of vision loss in people over the age of 65. All right. But Zan does something else. It boosts something called T helper cells. Now, T helper cells are one of the super soldiers that are found in your immune system. And you know what? When you have xanthan in your chicken soup that also has ginger in it, that xanthan ramps up, ratchets it up your T helper cells, which then can help your body fight the virus. All right? Sound like a pretty good deal to me. And I've had plenty of chicken soup, both with noodles and carrots and celery, but also the Asian version. If you haven't tried that, I strongly recommend you trying it. Just make bone broth, add some ginger, boil the done, ginger in there, peel it, okay? Little trick to peeling, by the way, ginger, that a lot of people don't know, because it's kind of a pain to cut out with a knife and then you lose a lot of the ginger. A really effective way to peel gingers with the edge of a spoon. You take a big hunk of ginger root and you just scrape it. Keep on scraping it. Guess what? You'll see that skin coming right off. Really cool little trick. Then cut the ginger into bigger pieces, throw it right into the chicken soup, cook it right down, all right? Don't eat the ginger. All the good stuff, the ginger all, will be in the broth. Add some goji berries. Now you got the xanthan. The xanthan is anti-inflammatory, good for your eyes, and guess what? It actually boosts your T helper cells. This is some of your immune system that actually helps you fight back bacteria, viruses, anything that your immune system needs to take care of. You've actually boosted it, all right? Herbal healing here, is in chicken soup. Hey there, are you ready to use food to improve your health? I do cover a lot in my YouTube videos, but there's only so much time to dive deep into how to use food as medicine. That's why I created my Eat to Beat Disease course. In my course, I walk you through how to use everyday foods that you can find in your grocery store to boost your body's health defenses. This is all based on my research, and everything is rooted in science. And I've made it super easy to follow with practical, everyday tips. Whether you're trying to prevent disease or just want to optimize your health for longevity, my Eat to Beat Disease course gives you all the tools to make it real and to help you get lasting changes that will help you live longer and live better. To learn more, click the link below or scan the QR code on the screen. I can't wait to get started together in my course. Now, back to the video. You might be asking, Dr. Li, what else contains xanthan if it's useful for our immune system? Now I'm going to tell you broccoli has xanthan, kale has xanthan, spinach, Swiss chard squash, the fall squash. All right, pumpkin, which I love to eat. Pumpkin also contains xanthan, and the goji berry. All right. Now you might think about, like I told you some of the orangey, reddy, fleshy things, as well as a little dried goji berry, but broccoli too, and kale. All right, and spinach. So xanthan is a great way to actually heal your body when you're sick, and you can throw it into chicken soup. Now, you might not be hungry when you're sick, but when you do eat, think about the foods that I just told you about: the chamomile tea, the chicken soup with the ginger, the goji berries. I do want to say there's something you should probably avoid doing when you're sick, and that's eating ultra-processed foods. All right? Now, it's up to debate what the final definition or the ultimate definition of an ultra-processed food is. I like to have, in this unplugged version, something that comes in a box or a bag or a can or a jar, comes from a factory. It's got a ton of ingredients in there. You look at the ingredient label, which I tell everyone to do, and you can't pronounce some of the ingredients that are in there, and you have no idea what they're doing in there. Not something that you would actually throw into your saucepan or your pot if you cooked it at home. That's probably an ultra-processed food. All right? Ultra-processed foods with all these additives and chemical ingredients can damage your gut microbiome. And when you damage your healthy gut bacteria, guess what happens? Well, they're supposed to lower inflammation. So when you damage them, inflammation goes up. Just what you don't want when you're fighting a cold or the flu. So stay away from ultra-processed foods. I know you know. Like when I'm doing research or traveling to give a lecture or to do teaching, and I've gotten sick in the past, you get there and you got to push your way through. Man, you're in the train station, the bus station, the airport, and there's all this food around you and you're hungry. I always tell myself, don't eat the ultra-processed foods. If I want to feel better, I need all my healthy bacteria fighting for me to actually get better as quickly as possible. If I want to bounce back before some big event, I better stay away from ultra-processed foods. The other thing that you want to do is kind of stay away from huge fatty foods. French fries, all those deep fried things that are not good for you anyway. When you're sick and you eat those foods, it actually just kind of upsets your stomach, can set back your gut microbiome, amplify inflammation, all right, because of the advanced glycation end products that they stimulate in your body. All those deep fried foods. Another thing to avoid, this is probably a no-brainer, you don't need me to tell you this, is avoid alcohol. All right. Don't go out with the guys or the gals to go for that drink or beer if you're offered it, and you're sick and you don't want to talk about being sick. Just politely decline, because the alcohol, let me tell you, the alcohol amplify the inflammation in your body and make you feel crappy. The alcohol also will dry you out, all right, dehydrate you. All right, so now you're amplifying inflammation, you're dehydrating yourself, you're really making the virus a little happier, or you're tipping the odds in favor of the virus winning. So don't drink alcohol, all right? It's just going to make your symptoms worse and last longer. So you want to actually get some relief. The relief are the things that I told you about. Some chicken soup, all right, is good. Some camel tea. What you want to do is relax. All right. If you need to perform, you need to do something out there, go do it. But then retreat back and chill out. That's what I do when I'm busy and I'm traveling and I don't feel well. I got to say, after I've switched my diet years ago to a healthier diet, when I'm sick, I actually double down on my healthy foods. I actually recover a lot faster. And these days, I hardly ever get a cold or a flu. In fact, I can't hardly remember the last time I had one. I had one last year. That was the first time in probably 4 or 5 years I actually had a cold flu. Now, some basic advice. I'm not giving you medical, but basic common sense. If you're not getting better from a cold or flu after about a week, I recommend you call your doctor, all right? Because something else might be going on, and it's best to actually get that checked out. You don't want to be nurturing a walking pneumonia or some other infection that's going on that's not clearing up. Food as medicine isn't going to be able to help. You might actually need something more specific to help you get over whatever it is that is infecting you, all right? So remember, body aches, muscle aches, all right? That's actually a signal that your body's health defenses against a virus is at work. Those aches and pains that you get from cold and viruses, and flu viruses, they're a clear signal. You got to slow down and rest. And as you are resting, okay, your achiness will go away. You can help yourself with a little food as medicine, a little calmness, all right, a little quiet, a little not stressing out, and a little chicken soup, all right? You can have it Mediterranean style, Jewish style, you can have it Asian style. All of these things are good for you. The chicken soup with the peptides, a lower inflammation. That's the latest piece of scientific discovery I want to share with you. A lot of people don't know that. All right. That's it for today. Dr. Li Plug. Hope you learned something new and something useful. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more science-based information that I'll provide you through my newsletter. You got thoughts or questions? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next video. Hey, if you like that video, then you're going to love this one. Check it out.